platforms. So when you go out and vote, 42 Voices doesn't want to tell you who to vote for. So who to vote for? We're basically just trying to educate you guys on like how to get these informations, and CBC News is a great place. So for me, as a university student, one of my biggest things is education. So this allows me to understand which political party I should vote for by seeing their direct policies and promises and comparing them which one. So whichever one I see as beneficial towards me, that is the party I would go for. And that's one of the best. That's one of the parts why I liked about this article is it allows you to look at the four major political parties and their platform. So I thought it would be a great source. Yeah, so please check it out. Look at it through. It has education, environment and climate change, healthcare, housing, and yeah, looking at the education side, it is the Conservative parties want to announce a 1.3 billion in expanding building or expanding 42 schools. NDP has 130 million per year to take care of the province's school repairs to-do list. Liberal Party, as I spoke about before, has OSAP loan interest and eliminate OSAP loan interest and pay back until recipients at least make 50,000, which helps university students a lot more. And then you have also what's it called, the Green Party, which they convert OSAP loans to grants for lower income students to take interest off student debt. Depending on what kind of voter you are, whether it be tariffs, transportation, housing, spending, it will dictate on who you decide to vote for. But learning on what their promises are and bills are is very well, because one thing I've been seeing a lot more in Canadian news compared to like federal provincial is oftentimes people confuse the conservative Ontario with conservative federal like Canada. So they do differ quite often, especially with the bills that they propose. So do read about it. Do watch out for misinformation. I do have to clarify that. Please make sure you're getting it from a reputable source. Do not go onto any. Just double check. Be careful. That's what I have to say. Look at the party platforms, their websites. They try to make it as easy to approach as possible, as much as possible. So the Ontario Conservative Party, and yeah. So that's all I have to say about the political parties. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rob. Thanks for the update on the political parties. Can you hear me? All right.
Yep.
So we have listed the website links for each of the political parties. You can find information about who is running the party platform and the ways to get involved with them on on their website. Now let's look at voters turnout. This next slide. So voters turnout refers to the number of people getting out to vote. Globally, there are alarming trends in many of the countries, as many are not going out to exercise their right to vote. In the last provincial election in Ontario, only 43% of people voted. The remaining 57 of the people did not vote. So do you think the voter turnout will increase this time? Feel free to share your thoughts in the chat section, please. It's a rhetorical question. Thank you. Next slide, please. I also wanted to give you a quick background on snap election. The last time we had a snap election in Ontario was in 1990. We have included a link to an article in the slide, so read it at your leisure when you get a copy of this presentation. Now I'll pass it back to Claire to talk about election job. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Election time is a great way to find short term work opportunities. There are 1 day jobs for 13 hours on the election day. You can also apply to work during the advanced polling period, which is for 3 days. And there is our other positions that may go into weeks and even months. All of these jobs are filled on a first come, first served basis. So if you haven't applied already, apply today. There is a snap election, and Election Ontario is not asking for resume or cover letters. It is just a few basic questions such as your name, address, and what type of job you want to apply for, which you can select by clicking in the boxes. It won't take more than 20 seconds. So I know some of my friends in 42 Voices have applied. So maybe if you guys are interested, apply. We have included the links for the job opportunities in the slide, so you can visit them when we email you a copy of the presentation. We also have included the link for local returning officer, and if you want, you can also call them to see if they're still hiring. We're going to skip the summary slide, which, next slide please, which you're reviewing later. I'm going to pass it on to Brian. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Claire. I volunteer with 42 Voices and I have learned a lot and created many meaningful relationships along the way. I will encourage you to get involved in the community if you haven't already included our group. Now let's move to the next slide, please. Okay. You can review this slide on your own, which lists some of the upcoming events and resources. We hope you can attend some of it. On to the next slide, please. As you can see, we are on social media, so please follow us to stay in touch with us. You will get this information by email, so give it a follow when you receive our email. Okay. We are also looking for volunteers to help with our social media, so let us know if you're interested. Next slide, please. Now we have come to an end of our presentation. We will soon be starting our raffle, and we'll find out who the lucky winners are. Before that, does anyone have any question? You can unmute yourself and ask question, or drop it in the chat section. Questions.